This is the new inventory, and I have taken some time to break down what's going on in here. Got a couple notes. All right, so we're gonna kind of go through this in a little bit of detail because I didn't want to stop up the Star Citizen Live episode too much. I figured we'd just do another standalone video. And honestly, I was going to do a video on the main channel, but then all this stuff started to happen with the glitches over the weekend, and I'm already working on a video about the Vault weapons that I wanted to cover, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that's going to land very well. So I don't think I'm going to do a video for this on the main channel, but I did want to get into it in detail with you guys. First thing, obviously, that you notice when looking at this inventory is like it's incredibly cluttered. I don't think what this is not going to be what we get in the game. I think we all know that. There's no way we get a new inventory by the end of this year, in my opinion. It's not an active development now, and this is going to take a little while to make happen. So I'm thinking next year at the earliest. Between now and next year, if anybody has watched how CIG develops things, especially UI, you know things are going to change quite a bit. But we can kind of look at the general ideas here and what they explained here in the video, and make some calls there. So let's go from the top down, looking at everything that's included here. First thing are the little things up top here, the little indicators. Pretty straightforward. That's just which inventory are you accessing. Something that he mentions here, he does a little drawing and he shows that you'll have different things that are sitting around you in proximity. You'll be able to basically just select those things and that inventory will pop up here. So you'll have your personal inventory, whatever it is that you're looking at, and then your equipment here. This is already much better than what we've had in game. And it also seems to mean, because you can see you have access to the boxes on either side, that you can have two different containers open next to you and drag and drop things between them. Which would be awesome. Yeah, this is huge in terms of playability. I think this should be a priority, but unfortunately nothing takes priority over Squadron 42. It's a busy screen but it's needed. Well, that's something I didn't mention. The reason I think this looks so busy is because they are trying to put everything on the screen at the same time. So some of that can include like these timers. You look at these timers, they don't make any sense for where they are. Maybe they make sense for being inside of a container that is locked, or a crafting machine. But in general, I don't think that that's contextual. I think they put that on the screen. Same goes for all these bubbles out here. I'm guessing these bubbles probably aren't actually full if the first one isn't. They probably pop up as you would fill the other ones, right? That's what I would assume. I also think that they've got this sort of stats thing pulled up because just so you can see it. It might not add too much clutter to the screen. I'm kind of sitting in front of that. But I do think it makes it feel busier than it actually is. And then obviously there's just stuff everywhere. So in terms of clutteredness, it does feel busy. But I'm assuming this stuff in the center gets a little more cleaned up than what it's supposed to look like here. Or they will clean it up over time, I would hope. And I'm just wondering, like this, for instance, this clothing icon, why would that be on right now? Or the glasses icon. These should be disabled if you have armor and a helmet on. But maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, continuing on, you can see that we've got plenty of filters now coming up finally. So they're going to allow for the same kind of filters that you have when you're looking at the inventories in the shops. Select alls, obviously. Clear filters. Stack all button over here on the right so you can immediately get everything packed up into their own squares if you have a bunch of different stuff, which we always do. They use micro SCU for the measurements. How do you guys feel about the whole micro SCU thing? Does that throw you off that all measurements go through SCU? I guess that makes the most sense. There's you gotta have like some kind of a standardized volume unit. I got to get used to the idea of measuring in micro SCU though. I'm so used to full SCU that it's I don't have a good idea of the scale of what that represents in real life, you know? Yeah, we need that stack all button. That's going to be freaking huge. I wish they would put that in the current inventory, to be honest. Big upgrade to this inventory that we're noticing is the 2D images over the 3D images. This should help with making the inventory load better and be a little bit quicker and more reliable. But I'm gonna need to see that to believe it because, oh my God, it's so bad right now. But yeah, 2D renders, and honestly, I think the pictures look nice if they could just have a stylized picture that sits in here. All of them are the same size, so it's a little bit cleaner than it used to be. And there's not too much like hologram doubling up graphical effects like you would kind of expect. So honestly, I think it's fairly clean to see. One thing we are missing here that I don't think is included is a list view. The list view would also be really nice. Make it a little easier to search for things since you can't even see names here. Okay, now hold on a second. Let me just confirm something real quick. Okay, so we have T1 through T3, and you're kind of seeing similar icons. Like so I actually don't know if this is a mistake. They put T4 through T4 and T5 up here. But we do have T1 through T5 on this. Originally it was 3. So I'm actually not sure if that stands for a tier. Yeah, ships will have T5, but these are ammos. So don't know where that comes from, but we can see that there's a lot of them on different units, indicating the level of the gear. Level though. Yeah, T5 is ships, but these aren't ships. These are armor and ammo. We can see that there are materials stored here. These numbers are freaking crazy, and there's probably no way you're actually carrying that much, but materials being collected and stacked is a big part of crafting that we're looking forward to. Down here in the detailed description section, a couple of interesting things. Manufacturer, they did confirm that this would be the people who make it. So if you make the weapon yourself, your name will show up here. If you do enough of them, obviously that's a way to spread the name of who you are. Integrity and durability, that's all about the wear and tear. We looked at that last week. I won't pull that back up. But that's where guns will fail. You know, if you're not taking good enough care of them, you can lose a gun to overall wear over time. And then we got regular stats like you would see for any other game that's a shooter. Above that, you have bricked status or unbricked. That's has to do with the inventory, or not the inventory. That has to do with the item recovery system. I'll let you guys listen in on that because we haven't gone over that in a little while.
Items that you own will automatically be assigned to you. This means if someone steals your ship, you can mark it as stolen, either via an insurance claim or in your Mobi.
Okay, so we have that, right? And then we have the item recovery, what they said earlier this year, which is that eventually when you get something stolen, you'll be able to go to a kiosk and report it stolen, and over time that will brick the item for the person who stole it. Looting and bricked items. Once an item is looted, you will have the option to sell it, dismantle it for crafting items, or restore it to make it your own. This system creates a viable path for piracy, allowing you to claim another person's belongings if you take the necessary steps to legitimize ownership. The idea of bricking these items, I guess, starts with T1, which is the next version of item recovery coming to us. Once an item is looted, it remains usable until the original owner reclaims it or marks it as stolen. At that point, a dead man's switch is activated, meaning it will cease to function after a period of time. You can still sell the item for credits, though. Eventually, you'll be able to break it down into its own components. But as of right now, that is what this little detail means here. You can brick that item, and the person can keep it and sell it, show it off, and do whatever, but it won't work. And it actually shows who it's registered to originally as well, so that maybe you can change that registration to your own name. I think these indicators in the center are better than what they have right now in terms of showing us where things can go. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it shows the capacity through some nice bars on the outside instead of cluttering it up with more numbers. We got a couple status icons here, which will probably help with glanceability. Numbers to show which loadout they're next to, I think is actually really nice. I like the loadout indicator down here. I think this is mostly hitting everything folks want from an inventory. What, in your opinion, is missing? What's something that you'd like to see here? A text version, good simple search. I think this is like a really small nitpick. I know this doesn't matter to most people, but generally they try to keep things immersed in first person in this game. And I think if they found a way to display our own player character on our visor and just kind of make it look like this is on our visor instead of a 3D camera out in space. I hope they can do something like that. A favorite button. Looks like right here. There's a little heart. Oh, you can't see that. There's a little heart right here. Looks like you can click to favorite things. I mean, in Cyberpunk, you have a lot less stuff to worry about. It looks like, yeah, you don't even have like a full inventory on this screen. Your full inventory is on a different screen. They don't show the attachments. You click into the guns to see the attachments for the specific gun, I think. But everything is separated out a lot more. So it's much easier to tell what each thing is. I think, honestly, having a more solid colored or gradiented background like this would help a lot with not making it feel cluttered. It's a lot of lines and stuff being overlapped. Cyberpunk splits things up. See, I think that's what really makes the difference between, say, a game like Star Citizen and Cyberpunk, or even Squadron 42, is where in this game, you have a lot of crap in your inventory that you might want at that exact moment, whereas in Cyberpunk, the stuff in your inventory is getting equipped or unequipped. You're not dragging it into your hand or putting it on the ground or putting it in a box and moving it from one box to another kind of thing. Show less, add groups and a filter, and allow small, medium, large icon size. There are filters. I do like the idea of the icon sizes. And I guess that would take care of the showing less. You just make the boxes bigger. Yeah, changing icon sizes would be a solid change. In No Man's Sky, you're still not really seeing your player character either. You're just seeing whatever it is you're looking at. So the inventory is a little more, I don't know, disjointed, kind of. I mean, something like Rust, you know? The Tarkov. Yeah, let's see what Tarkov's looks like. I know a lot of people love Tarkov's inventory, but they already use different sized boxes, right? So there's a change there. So in this one, yeah, this is a little bit more similar. You got your whole inventory in one place. And then you've got, okay, so this is like a bag. I guess this is whatever inventory you have selected, pockets, and then the stuff on your body. You can drag and drop stuff. Oh, these windows are floating. That's pretty nice. That's really nice. The windows are floating. I did not know that. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we could probably do is make some of the icons bigger. I think having them be uniform is pretty nice. Icon size. Bottom center of the UI. Oh! Well, there we go. Thank you for catching that. You got that right before we left. They've got their icon size. Yeah, they got an icon size controller here. So maybe that's something they already have planned then. Good to see. And with that now, we have truly dived deep. Thanks, chat, for helping me get through this.